Now, how do we begin to reclaim our power? And how do we thrive in a world that's not built for highly sensitive people, right? Because we are a minority. It's a very, very fast paced, overstimulating. And there are all of these rules, right? Like, watch the news. Very long ago, still remember this. I was a student of journalism and I stopped reading the newspaper. That's when I realized I can't be a journalist because I'm like, oh my God, cannot do this. But I do, like, even now get judged for this. But I'm like, you know what? I own it. This is what it needs to take care of myself. Like, I will take snippets of the news, that which is important, that which I can act on. But just this constant waterfall of news of suffering, it's not good for me. And when it's not good for me, I'm not showing up in my best version of myself. And that's not good for anybody else, right? Like me being grumpy and drained and just being like, oh, like a dark cloud. Come on, like that sucks to walk into work and see me there just being zombie-like or catatonic. So I think that was also this aspect of I wanted to take responsibility for who I am and how I show up in this world. And aspects of HSP-ness gave me that power. And I'm also very curious about how many people know about this. How many people are out there really judging themselves because they feel deeply, because they get overstimulated, because it's too loud outside, or like they're very picky about their clothes or their sheets and things like that. And I think this is also one of the reasons why I started GiggleMinds is I want to gather this tribe, people like me, like us, where we can all just kind of look at each other and be like, yeah, we're not insane. It's okay. The system is broken, but it's not all bad news. We can still be like happy and joyous, and there are ways to kind of thrive in this world. But I do think it begins with community. When you are around people like you, you feel seen, you feel heard, you don't feel alone anymore. Half those judgmental voices kind of just drop off because it's not valid anymore, because you're like, no, that person is also struggling. So it's clearly not me. And already that healing has started. There's nothing needed. We just gather. And for me, I think that's exciting. And that's why collective is in the name, like GiggleMinds, it could just be GiggleMinds. But collective for me is because there's a collection of tools that people are going to make their own collective of healing. And then we are going to be a collective and kind of heal together. I think that's at the core of it. I'm seeing a little more information about this, about how you don't have to do it all on your own. Like, stop telling people to heal. It takes a community, and I'm glad that's getting traction now, because that's absolutely true. It's a very, very lonely road if you're trying to do it on your own. And for me, in my personal journey, when I have done group programs, when my teachers have like brought us together in groups, that's when the alchemy actually happened, because another person would ask a question I didn't even know I needed an answer to, and things like that. So it was truly magical when a group would gather, and my teacher would say, a group always comes together for a reason. It's just never arbitrary or random. And I go into my workshops remembering that. And I'm curious to see how are we all going to come together, and what are we going to heal, or what are we going to teach, or what are we going to create together? Yeah.